Hi guys, so in this video I want to put together a tier list for altcoins, again ranging from 1 to 50x here, and just basically based on my personal opinion and where I see it going in the next 3 to 6 months. Again, could be longer, could be shorter, but again, if we're basing it on altcoin season and the M2 money supply and the business cycle and all this kind of rate cuts, again, that's all based on that. So, disclaimer, please read this with care. This video is not financial advice. Crypto is volatile and highly risky. No results are guaranteed, and this content is for experienced users only. There's a full legal disclaimer in the description below. Right, so just to jump into it, ADA Cardano, one of my current big holdings. I'm a massive fan of ADA. I've been holding it for 3 years or more, and it's one I've been averaging into for a long time. I personally see it go into a 5 to 10x range. Again, based on market cap, it's got a relatively big market cap, so it's not got as much room to grow as some of the smaller ones, which we'll be mentioning later, but I still see it as a top pick, especially considering some of the advancements that they've been doing over the last few years, especially in the bear market. Again, Chainlink, I think let's see this is somewhere in a 5 to 10x. Again, the market cap is still relatively small for Chainlink. It's not massive. Again, 11 billion, still got a lot of space to grow. I know it's really vital in terms of the ecosystem. There's been a lot of positive news for Chainlink, so that's kind of where I see it going. Again, might go more, might go less. SHIB, really interesting, but personally 3 to 4x just based on the market cap. The market cap is so big that it's probably quite tricky for SHIB to move, and I don't think it's got the same kind of narrative that it did last run. I don't think that many people are speaking about it, from at least what I've seen, but again, I could be wrong. Next, BNB, it's already run up quite a lot in the last year or so, and the market cap is pretty big as well, so it's going to be quite difficult for this to make any serious return based on where it is now. Again, that's just where I see it going. Bitcoin, 1 to 2x. The market cap is ridiculous on Bitcoin at the moment. You've seen how much Bitcoin has run up. Again, what is it, 2.2 trillion in market cap. Again, another 2.2 trillion likely to flow in the next 3 to 6 months. Maybe, but I really don't see that happening. I don't see Bitcoin really doubling from this current price point. Again, I'm not saying it can't, I just think the market cap is too big for it to double or get a real 3 to 4x. I think 1 to 2x is a very conservative number. Again, Litecoin, it's quite an interesting one. A coin that's been pretty well established. It's been around for a long time, but they've rebranded themselves as a meme coin, I believe, recently, which has kind of worked for them. But again, it's been around for a long time. There's not really much narrative, and I don't really see it doing anything crazy at this point. Again, Doge, bit of a controversial one. Again, I would put this in the 3 to 4x, somewhere around there. 5x, I'm not really sure. I think the market cap's too big. I know you've got players like Elon Musk talking a lot about Doge, and there's the ETS. Again, I think it might make its way into the 5x, but it's really difficult to tell. We see where it is in terms of market cap, 30 billion. I think, yeah, we could potentially move that into the 5x, but it would have to be in the real lower end of that. Again, Tron coin, I've not really seen too much about Tron and their development. It's quite a hard one to comment on. I know the market cap is relatively big. It's in top 10, top 15, I believe, so it's very, very hard for me to say. I don't really know what's going on with them, but based on the market cap and why they are, I know they have a fairly large community, so I would put that within the 3 to 4 range based on where it is. Again, Ethereum, it's a very tricky one, because again, it's somewhere between the 4 to 5x, I believe. I don't think it's going to go particularly much higher than 10k. I think it definitely can. Definitely in the future. I just think it might struggle now to reach it. But again, it may well do it. I might be wrong. So where is ETH at the moment on here? ETH currently sitting at 3.6k. Yeah, I think 4x, 4 to 5x on the low end. I'm gonna have to put it at the top end of this. Again, XLM, I'm going to put this in the 5 to 10x range. I think that's certainly possible around here. I think where it's gone with XRP, it's got an incredibly good narrative at the moment. It's a smaller market cap. It's got the ability to move, and XRP is closely linked to it. So we've seen a lot of positive news about that. So I do think XLM 5 to 10x range is very doable. Again, Solana, massive market cap. We've seen Solana in the last, couple of years. Well, back in 2023, we've seen it really start to rip, but the market cap is getting relatively big. Again, we're at 88 billion, and it's gone from the price of $19 all the way up to 160. So, for it to do a 5x is possible. Again, it's got the ETF, it's got amazing narrative, it's got the DeFi, it's got the memes, it's got institutional adoption, etc. So I think 5x is definitely on the cards. Again, Sui, really interesting one. It's very, very hard to tell. I think Sui, it's very similar to Solana in this case. A lot of people are comparing it to Solana. I see it being, I might be the first one. I put in 10 to 20x here. I might have to put it in there because of the narrative, the number of people that are talking about it, what it's doing. It's looking like a really, really strong project. And again, the market cap isn't really anywhere near as big. The next one here is Hype. Personally, I haven't done enough research into that to comment on, so I'm going to have to put this down here. Next up, we've got XRP. Again, already gone pretty crazy in the last few months, again, alongside XLM here, but it is part of the Crypto Strategic Reserve. There's a lot of good narrative behind XRP. They've won the lawsuit, so I'm putting this in the 3 to 4x range. Again, VeChain, it's not really too much to say in this. It's a pretty solid altcoin. Again, I need to do some more research into that personally, but I do see, based on the market cap, where it's gone before and the kind of developments, I reckon 5 to 10x is definitely on the cards. Pepe, alongside, I still think 5 to 10x is there. Potentially more, but I'm still going to put it in here just to be conservative, mainly just because a massive community, loads of people love Pepe. It's a meme. It's shown that it has the potential to do it. It's got that following, so I put that in roughly in that range. Toncoin's an interesting one. I think 3 to 4x. We've seen it dip in the last few months, as I believe the founder got arrested or something along the lines of that. So it's not really looking too positive, but kind of based on where it's positioned at the moment, I think 3 to 4x is very positive. Well, and possible. Again, Polygon, same with Near. I think these ones in a solid 5 to 10x. I don't think there's really much more to talk about. Again, relatively low market caps, a lot of good narratives, a lot of people talking about them. I think that's definitely up there. Again, Render, I personally think is a 10 to 20x. To be honest with you, I think as an AI narrative, the market cap is relatively small. It's got the partnerships with NVIDIA. It's got this AI rendering. It's working with Hollywood. There's loads and loads of things going on. And as well, it's in a growing space. So I do see Render getting to a 10 to 20x. Well, 11 to 20x in this case. Again, Casper. We've seen Casper move a lot. It's really tricky to say at the moment, but I'll place it in 3 to 4x. Trump coin. This is an interesting one, definitely. I don't personally want anyone to lose any money on any coins, and I don't really feel like I know enough about Trump coin, but based on where it is, I think a 3 to 4x is realistic. I don't necessarily know if that will going to happen, but I do think it certainly has the potential to do that. Again, it's Donald Trump. A lot of people love him, a lot of people hate him, so it's a really interesting one. It's a first time narrative, especially in this space, for a president to actually have their own coin. So yeah, again, Uniswap and OKX, again, I still think these are 5 to 10x ranges here. I don't really think there's that much more needs to be said. Again, AVAX is another really interesting one. Lots of people love AVAX, and I haven't really invested much in AVAX, but I think it's got a really good chance to be able to do that. Again, some of the other ones, ICP, 5 to 10x. Again, that's shown that it's got the ability to move before. Likewise with Polkadot. A lot of people haven't really seen what's going on with Polkadot. They've been relatively quiet, in my opinion. I haven't really heard much about what they're doing in the bear market. Again, they were quite a dominant altcoin in the last run, but I think they are they don't have the same narrative as a lot of these other stronger coins do at the moment, in my opinion. Again, you can disagree with me on that. And again, HBAR, I think it's in the 5 to 10x. It could potentially get more, but it's already gone quite a bit so far, but it still has a hell of a lot of room to grow. Obviously, it's got the partnerships with Boeing and Google, etc. So a lot of people do like it and believe it's got ETFs on the way. So yeah, this is what I've put for all the ones that I do currently know of. But for a 50x, if I could pick one, it would be Dog on Bitcoin. Again, I'm not sure, you guys might not know about this coin, but we look at where the market cap is for this coin, 282 million. It's listed on Kraken as a tier 1 exchange. Again, it's the biggest meme coin on Bitcoin. It's got the dog narrative. It's got an incredibly large community, like it's unbelievable. They haven't paid to get any listings. Again, this is one I would certainly do some research into. It's on the ordinals. Again, there's rumours of it getting listed on Binance. So again, it's one of those ones that a lot of times when people make money in crypto, it's because they get in before they're on a lot of these tier 1 exchanges. So again, this is completely speculation, and I'm not telling you to buy it at all, but if I could put one coin in the 50x, I would put Dog in there. I think it's got the potential. Obviously, I'm not saying it's going to do it, but yeah. Anyways, cheers guys. Hopefully that was somewhat insightful.